My girlfriend became a pro-Trump Christian, so I broke up with her. I know I did the right thing by leaving, but I'm still feeling so blindsided and heartbroken by the way everything panned out. I'm 28 years old, and I was with my most recent ex for almost 3 years. I thought she would be the woman I would marry, and for the majority of our relationship, she was my ideal partner. We met when we were both about to graduate from the same university, and I fell for her instantly. Her name was Kara, and before all this happened, she was the most thoughtful, kind person I knew, but all that's changed now. We had been dating for about 2.5 years when I got a call at work from Kara's parents letting me know she had been in a bad car accident, but she had survived. It was one of the scariest moments of my life, and before they told me she was all right, I thought the worst had happened to her. When I got to the hospital, Kara gave me a weak smile from her hospital bed where she was hooked up to a bunch of tubes. She looked okay other than a couple of bruises and scratches, but the doctor said she had sustained a fair amount of internal bleeding and she needed to stay at the hospital for a couple of days while they got it under control. I used all my PTO at work so I could stay by Kara's side the entire time she was there, but unfortunately, her parents also stayed. For context, Kara's parents are typical hyper-religious, pro-Trump Southerners, and we never really got along because of how vocal they are about their hateful beliefs. Kara's mom would literally just read her Bible verses all day to the point where I could barely speak to Kara when she was awake. Anytime she was awake, and her dad was around, he would just go on and on about how she needed to thank God for sparing her. By the time she left the hospital, I had more than enough of them. I had known Kara's parents were like this before she went into the hospital, but Kara had always said she never really found any meaning in her family's religion, and she wasn't religious herself. Well, I guess her near-death experience changed that, or maybe it was her parents' influence on her while she was recovering, but after Kara had been home for about a week, she told me she needed to confess something to me. She had such a serious look on her face, and I noticed she had a brand new Bible in her hands as she spoke to me. She said that she had seen the light when the car first hit her, and Jesus had chosen to spare her, and now she needed to devote her life to his in return. I asked her if she was serious, and she just quoted the Bible to me and nodded her head. She said she needed to devote her life to God, and she hoped I would support her and stick by her side. I was a little taken aback by all this, and even though I had never seen her act like this, I tried my best to be supportive in the beginning. But I had no idea how much Kara was about to change everything in her life. She started out by throwing away, not donating, but literally throwing away her entire closet, and replacing it with conservative, old lady clothing. Then she started going to church multiple times a week and spending basically all her free time there volunteering and attending services. I felt like I barely saw her anymore. When I did see her, I would try to plan dates just as I always had, but the only thing she wanted to talk about anymore was God and His love and how she wanted me to find the light. She was constantly asking to pray for me, and I guess she had no idea just how much she was using up my patience. She had even started watching Fox News like her parents and complaining about the woke left and their deviance from God's will. It all boiled over one day when Kara came home from work and found me crying in my bedroom. I had just got off the phone with one of my siblings, and they had told me that my aunt, whom I had been very close with, had just lost her battle with cancer. I was heartbroken, and I knew everyone in my family was hurting. My girlfriend sat next to me and put her arm around me, but when I told her what happened, without missing a beat, she said, "Well, that was God's plan, and who are you to question as well?" That was the last straw for me. I jumped up and told her not everything was about effing God, and sometimes things were just SHT in life. I told her I missed the old her, and I felt like I was living with a stranger ever since she got home from the hospital. She told me I sounded like a sinner, and I just hated her for waking the righteous path. I saw that the person I once loved was gone, and that I was basically talking to a walking Bible instead of a real person anymore. I told her we were finished, and she started curing me out using less than holy words. It was a messy breakup, and she tried to tell all of our mutual friends that I left her because I hated God. Sure, effort, whatever, I hate God, and I hate her for what she let herself turn into.